Greetings everyone, a very warm welcome to you. It's Nick here again, back in the command chair, and we're on the ZX Spectrum 128K. We're going to be looking at a mod called Outrun Europa Re-Imagined, and this has been modded by Rafal Miazga in 2013. The original game, Outrun Europa, was by US Gold in 1991, which was, well, it wasn't the best racing game in the world, and it is very, very monochrome. It's a game where you race across Europe in a variety of vehicles. Here we are straight away. Do look at the review of the original Outrun Europa we did first of all, if you haven't already. The colour on it is clever. It's making it a little bit easier to control, although the awkwardness of it remains. But it is better than the original, but it isn't the best game in the world. So the idea is, unlike all the other Outrun games, you start off on a motorbike. If you get to a certain distance, you swap over to a jet ski, and I think there's Ferraris and Porsches to race as well. The author Rafal Miazga also has done, which we've already reviewed, Target Renegade Reimagined, which is I think it's a slightly better effort than this one, and also he's done the original Archeomania, which is Tetris inspired, but a new game in its own right. Now, the bike is slipping all over the place. The colour is good, but it does get a bit blocky around the main graphic. You can see when we go to the side of the road. Time's ticking down in the middle there. If I don't do very well, I have got a cheat for infinite time and strength. You'll notice as you go along, like the original game, the occasional vehicle or police guy tries to knock you off the road. If you get stopped by the police, I think it's like a game over. So yeah, the original Outrun Europa was by US Gold in 1991. I can't recall a decent version of Outrun being on the ZX Spectrum, but there we go. That's probably US Gold's fault. But anyway, let's just see how far we can get on this one. Now, if you're looking to track this one and download it on emulation, I got it from a site called Spectrum Computing, which I go to for a lot of stuff. So it's interesting to see this one, but I prefer Miazga's Target Renegade Reimagined as opposed to this, because as I say, it's not one of my favourite games in the world, but it is better than the original. So yeah, very, very black and white was the original one. It does lift it considerably, but the frame rate is a bit Right, come on then, let's keep going. 16 seconds, will we get past even the first checkpoint? Well, there's a police car there, we need to run that off the road. I think on the bottom right is my sort of like strength remaining. If that goes down to 0, you're dead. Right. Engine noise, well, to be expected with the ZX Spectrum's chip. Come on, let's keep going. Hurry up, it's saying. Well, hurry up. Broom, broom, broom. What we got? 8 seconds. There's no inertia on this once the time runs out, so you can't drift over the line when the time's run out. It just stops. This looks like we're going to a new area. There we go. So over some speed bumps. Got some more time, so at least I got off the first section. Whoa, before we cheat. Bit of undulation. It is, to be fair to the game, it is moving quite a lot of scenery. Quite a lot of racing games did minimal scenery to try and speed things up. This hasn't shied away from that, both this and the original. There's rather large trees going past, and it was a bit of an effort to actually colour those in. So that is an excellent job. It's a little bit messy, but you know, I don't think they could have done too much better using the ZX Spectrum's memory it's got available. So overall, it's a great job on what was a not very good game initially. But that's just my opinion. I think some people would have loved this one. Let's just try and get to the next checkpoint. We've got 65 seconds. I don't think they're true seconds. They're going down at a rather odd speed. Now, if you completed this game, either this or the original, let me know. Just to recap, we're racing across Europe for some reason. Away we go. I prefer Action. Was it Action Racer or Action Biker? Yeah, it was a top-down sort of like one, which had a similar sort of idea. 1991, the original, so quite late in the ZX Spectrum's run. This homebrew in 2013. Let's go. Now, I think Rafal Miazga did a few of these recoloured projects. We've already mentioned Target Renegade that he did. I think also there's the original Renegade and might be a few others too, which we may or may not come to. But you know, if I'm still reviewing games in years to come, it's more than likely we'll probably end up reviewing all of them. Right, so split path like the original Outrun. Turbo Outrun, they got rid of that idea, but I'm glad they brought it back again. My favourite versions of the original Outrun are on the Game Boy Advance and the Sega Mega Drive. Must admit I haven't played all of them, but they was terrible on the Amiga. The ZX Spectrum, well, let's not go there. Always thought on the Amiga version it would have been good if Gremlin Graphics, who did the Lotus games, were taken in charge of that. That would have been awesome. Imagine what they could have done, but it was not to be. US Gold. US Gold. It's a rude word. Not all of their games are bad, but they've got quite a lot of lazy conversions to their name. Curse them. Right. It's clever on the main sprite. There's 3 colours on the motorbike and the police car there. I think there's 3 colours there as well when it gets close enough. Blue, red and white. Well, yellow as well. Let's say 4 colours. Level's going on a bit of a long time, so I try and concentrate to keep on the road. But we've got about 23 seconds. Right, we've got another path to take along here. So if I'd owned this game back in the day, I wouldn't have been disappointed as such, because there's enough there to warrant the original purchase, but I wouldn't have gone back to it a great deal of time. Imagine the original purchase would have been just in black and white, but it's a lot more fun in colour. That is for sure. Right, hang on a minute, I've got kept past this police car. 13 seconds, 14 seconds. Well, it was 13 seconds eventually. I mean, it is quite clever the amount of stuff it's doing. I mean, the horizon's quite chunky as well. There's lots of graphics there. There's a bit of cloud up, and there's a huge amount of scenery on the side. I wouldn't mind them losing a bit of that scenery to try and speed up the game a little bit with the frame rate, but you know, that is just a personal choice. Now, these reviews aren't always about expert gameplay, as I blow up into flame in some bush there. It's all about seeing what your first and second go would have been like, and would there have been enough there for you to want to go back and play it in the day. Obviously, this wasn't out back in the day. Whoops, we've run out of time. This wasn't available back in the day, but I would have played it a few times, but it wouldn't have got out the box too much. Right, we're now going to play with a cheat on it, so the time won't be ticking down in the middle. Let's just see how far we can get, or until we get a tape loading error, because I believe this is multiple load, or multi-load between ones. So it's always a bit risky whether it's going to load or not. Hooray, hooray. Or we might get bored and turn the thing off. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm familiar with it, and there's quite a lot of games reviewed so far. At the time of recording, we're coming up to 800 zxspectrum games. We don't just review zxspectrum games. It's Amiga, Mega Drive, In the Distant Past is Game Boy Advance. So they're all there under the different playlists, and a summary of all the games as well under the Reviewed Games playlist, where we do individual videos in groups of 50 games all the way through. There's Commodore 64 there as well. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. That is much appreciated. And if you want to become a member for extra perks, click on the join button. It doesn't commit you straight away. It tells you a little bit what it's about, and then you can make your decision then. So thank you very much. It's all about easing stress, as we know, and not taking itself too seriously and having a bit of fun with it, rather we're around a friend's house or later on in life down the pub just talking retro rubbish. And that's what we need. We need to talk more retro rubbish. What speed am I going? 200 kilometres an hour. It doesn't feel like 200 kilometres an hour. There's no super boost, but I've just noticed the horizon is different from stage to stage, so that's interesting to see. It's a continuous stage that goes on, well, for a long, long time. Don't know what happens at the end. Don't know. Probably someone's been kidnapped or something ridiculous, a bit like that. Right, go car go, or motorbike should we say. The other Outruns, you were controlling a Ferrari, wasn't you? Was it an F40 or an F50? Or was it something completely different? I think it was a Ferrari though, isn't it? This is the bit where someone says, no Nick, it wasn't a Ferrari, it was a Nissan Sunny, or something like that, or a Corvette or something. Right, there's the police. They don't make an unusual sound like in Test Drive 2. Another game with not the best frame rate in the world, but for some reason I like that. I think there's nostalgia, and whenever you've got nostalgia for a game, I think you like it a little bit more, because it brings back not only the game, but the memories as well. And a child's memory would always add a massive amount to the game that wasn't already there. For some reason, an adult's brain doesn't quite do that, and you're a little bit more cynical. There we go, that's just the way it goes, isn't it? It's the way it goes. Well done, Rafal Miazga. Don't know what he's done recently. The time of recording this one was 8 years ago, so I'm a bit slow on the scene looking at these. And 8 years ago, that's about the same time the channel started in the first place. Great stuff. Right, round there. Time is still like 99 seconds, so we're doing pretty nifty as we accelerate way beyond 50. See, I can rhyme as well. The bike never gets any air, so no matter how quick we are, so you'd imagine, wouldn't you, going 200 kilometres an hour up a hill, you imagine when you got to the top of it, you might do a massive jump. Not in this though, it sticks to the road like glue, like Velcro. Velcro, eh? What a rip-off. Well, that's that joke done again. Excellent. I'm sure I've done that in other videos, so it's good to resurrect it. Right, I just want to get to the point now where normally I turn this off because we've seen all the gameplay now. I just want to see. I'll get it to another vehicle or see if it loads again. Would I recommend tracking this down? Well, maybe for a few quick goes. If you're into your racing games or a bit of history, or indeed just want to play the thing in colour, then do that, because I can't take it away from it. It's an amazing effort to colour this thing in, and they've coloured it in very well. Despite you could be very, very picky and say, look, there's a block around the character and it's quite slow, but that's just an echo of the original game, really. Right, let's get past this police guy again. Good. You have to get your Spectrum eyes on. Don't stare too close to the screen if you're watching this on the TV without blinking. It might give you a little bit of a headache, if indeed you still are there. We tend to do a review of a modded game or a homebrew every Wednesday, so we've been doing that for quite some time. So make a date in your diary for the next one to go up, and I do tend to put up videos around about the same time each week. So you get a bit of a pattern so you know what's going up. But members will know what videos are going up in advance because you get to see the members video in the members section. So if you are a member, a big, huge thank you to you. Much appreciated. You're the ones that are keeping this channel running. And quite often it's a little bit tricky to keep it going because of the thousands and thousands of channels out there. This channel's a little bit different to the majority of those, in fact that there's no swearing. So if you want to watch it with your kids, get them into retro gaming if you have any, or if you just don't like swearing in general, then this is the one for you. I'm not saying I'm against swearing, it's just the style of the channel just doesn't include it. It's not a part of my normal vocabulary, so I don't put it in. There we go, we don't need that. And before people get the wrong end of the stick, I'm not against channels that do that, it's just a different style. Right, kaboom! What we got? We're still at 99 seconds because we've got infinite time. Let's get round here. Stages go on forever here, isn't it? If we knock that person into a bush and they're engulfed in flame. But it's only a computer game and it doesn't really matter to a great deal. What are these yellow things we're getting? It's probably taking damage off them. Or we might be collecting stuff. There's sort of like a radar in the middle there. You know, that radar you have on motorbikes when Magenta's telling us what vehicles are coming up. Because ideally we need to get around those without any contact at all. Use all the roads so it don't cost us any time. Yep, see? So we just went around that one. So no... Whoa! And bumped into the scenery as well. Might get past this motorbike. We could collide into them if we want to, but it's quicker just to try and find the gap around it. And I've kaboomed again. He's kaboomed. Like Tutankhamun. Right. Stay on the road. The road always stays black, but I think on the Commodore 64 version of Outrun Europa, I think we would have got to the water stage by now and be jet skiing along. That's pretty cool. Well, look, there's the river up there, so that might be something. Is it? Oh, I was hoping that we would get somewhere. So the horizon's changed again. We're heading towards some river with boats on it. They look a little bit like those boats in Plunder, which you pull alongside and fire cannons at. If you don't know the game Plunder, well, you're missing out there. Check out the review of that. We've done it on a live stream, I think, a couple of times. Maybe about time we did it again. That's a good old game, that one. Good old basic game. I don't think it was a big classic back in the day, but I enjoyed playing it. Let's go. It's the same cars each time, so it's just the same three cars, isn't it? It's that red car, the police car, and so like the blue motorbike. There's not a great deal of variety that comes along in your direction. It's probably changes from stage to stage though. When you get to the jet ski or the Porsche, I think you drive a Ferrari as well. It's not like driving a Porsche versus a Ferrari in Test Drive 2 though, he says. One of his favourite games of all time. That's good to see on various systems, the Nintendo or the Mega Drive, Spectrum and the Amiga. They're all slightly different from each other, of course, but I like all of them. Man, this is going on a long time. Right, turbo. I occasionally do a bit of boosting, as you might have seen, where a bit of fire comes out the back of the bike, but you are limited the amount you can use. Trying to give you a bit of extra speed. So I'll run out again there, so just using the space bar every now and again. So you've got to use those in the best sort of like position. Bonus! Bonus! And now it's loading. And that's like, I think we'll end it there, because I think I remember from before, it just doesn't in fact load my version. So, you know, it's okay, they've done as much as they can, it's a good bit of colour, but I'm not a great big fan of the game anyway, but it's good to see the thing coloured in. So, hope you liked having a look at that one. That was Outrun Europa Re-Imagined on the 128K Spectrum, published by Rafal Miazga in 2013, based on the original by US Golf in 1991. Got any comments about this game, similar games, or anything retro, then please put them below. You're always more than welcome. Until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.